how's it going, dudes and dudettes? Brad the Fixologist here. You can probably hear the background noise. That is my little amplifier here. So this little amplifier I bought from a guy. It was a Facebook Marketplace deal. I went over to his house and bought some drums from him, and this just happened to be sitting there, and he asked me if I was interested in that, and he sold it to me for like 20 bucks or something. It was something really stupid, something really small price, but it's developed a problem. I use it for editing. So what I do is I run out of my computer into through this interface in and out of the interface into this little amplifier, and it's a powered mixer, really is what it is. So it's developed this problem in the amplifier, and this is something that's happened lately. I mean, that's a lot of noise. It will kind of work. Like if you turn it way down, I mean, you can play a video and sort of get some sound.
What's up, dudes and dudettes?
But it's
really
distorted.
My
Listen.
neighbor's house. I've got to take him to a doctor's visit and also take a look at his stove while we're over there. We got our first snow a couple days ago.
Even at low volume, it's crackly and not good at all.
So.
I think today we're gonna have to tear this thing open and see what's going on with it. See if I can't repair this. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in, stick around. Okay, let's unhook everything from it. I'll power it down and get it up on the bench. Whoops. This thing doesn't weigh very much. It did have an issue with the fan. I think the fan, when I got it, I think it was missing a couple of the screws, and it was really loud, so I just disconnected the fan completely because I didn't want to deal with the noise anymore. But like I said, yeah, we're gonna have to open it up anyway, so let's see what's going on with it. Start me up. If you start me up, I'll never stop. Okay, I'm gonna presume that big bolt is for the transformer. I'm guessing. I think it's probably a toroidal, and that's the bolt for it. I'm gonna start with these. The noise was in both channels, so I don't think it is an output problem. I think it is an early stage preamp problem. So maybe a bad transistor somewhere in the preamp. It could be, I don't know, possible. It could be a faulty cap or something like that. I think it's probably somewhere in the preamp mixer, probably after the preamp and then before the output. Because it doesn't matter which channel you're, well, let me see. Yeah, it would have to be after that, because it doesn't matter which channel you plug into. You get the noise, you get the crackle on the output. And we can test that a little further here as well. If we want to, here in a minute, we'll plug this thing in, put it through the oscilloscope. We'll be able to see the noise, I'm sure, on the oscilloscope. 3 screws under here. Yeah, I was right. Toroidal transformer. Something's unplugged. Or is that the fan? I think that's where I unplugged the fan before. I just forgot about it. Yeah, that's exactly what that is. Yeah, see, it could be any one of these transistors down here. We've got, gosh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We got about 24 transistors over here, and it could be really any one of them. This thing is not even warm. I don't know why they even bother putting a fan in this thing, because it really doesn't get hot. It doesn't seem to anyway. We have 4 total output transistors, so yeah. This is our mixer. Our mixer's separate. Got a connector down over here that I can't seem to get to. Shove down here out of the way. There we go. Okay, so this is power for the mixer section right here. Suppose we could power that separately and see what's coming out of the mixer. But we've got these wires that are running to and fro right here. Tell you what, let's go ahead and open this up, see what we see under here. Maybe we'll see something that kind of sticks out to us as being possibly an issue. And this might also be a good test case where we can use a thermal camera on this, and I actually have a thermal camera that I've received recently that we might be able to test out on this thing. We'll see how it goes if it gets that far. But the thing is, I mean, if we have something that's kind of malfunctioning, drawing too much current, getting hot, you know, bad transistor, maybe something like that, this could be a case where we see the problem with a thermal camera. It might be just end up being plain as day. I don't have any documentation on this, but there's not a whole lot to it. We know it's getting power, so we don't have a problem in a power section or anything like that. But we definitely got a problem somewhere. This thing is distorted, it's nasty, it does not sound right, and without doing something to it, it's pretty much unusable. One thing I did not check to see if the distortion was going through the headphones. And that's what we might do here. We'll plug in a test signal and see if we get the distortion coming out. Come out the headphones with this cable, and we'll go to the scope for now. We might actually go to the amplifier. Might be easier just to hear it. See if it's there, but we'll usually try the scope. Luckily, I bought a huge box of power cables like this, these IEC cables off of eBay several years back, and I haven't even really put a dent in them. Got a bunch of them. There's gonna be nothing going to the output on this right now, so this will just be going out of the headphone jack to the scope, which is not on. Turn the scope on. See if we can't get some signal. Let's send that signal. We got a 1K sine wave going into this. Okay, sine wave's coming in, headphone out. I'm gonna stick that at unity for now. Let's see what's going on here. We got anything at all? I don't see anything. There we go. We got something. Ooh, it's noisy as hell. You can see it's noisy. Yeah, that's really, really noisy right there. I mean, garbage. That looks like total garbage. Look at that. So this is what we've got going out, and this is what we've got right there. That's if I'm turning the headphone all the way down. You can see on the power what we're drawing and everything here. At 119 volts, we're drawing 11.7 watts. At 110 milliamps, but we've got some garbage there, and it's just there's some kind of a DC offset here on this part of the wave. That does affect it some. It seems to be adding to the noise in some way. Okay, engaging the phantom power is doing something. So it's affecting it in some way also. So yeah, that noise looks like it's going to be there regardless of where I plug this in. So like I said, it's I think it's somewhere after this preamp section. But then again, I don't know. There has to be a point where these channels mix together, and that's where the noise seems to be. Okay, so I have my sine wave plugged into channel 2, and nothing is happening now on channel 2. Oh, that's why, because I have my output down. Yeah, this is in the preamp. Yeah, there's like DC offset when I turn this up like that. Let me see if the same thing. Oh gosh, that's happening. That's happening when I turn channel 2 up, even though channel 1 is the channel where I have my signal going in. Look, channel 2 is offsetting the DC for channel 1. Look at that. Can you see what I'm doing? So here's what I'm doing. If you watch the scope there. So here's my signal. It's going into channel 1, right? So here's my level for channel 1. So there's the signal, the sine wave, and it's garbage, really. But if I adjust channel 2, look, it becomes even more garbage for 1. And if I turn it way up, look, it's adjusting the DC offset of the signal. I wonder if the rest of these channels are doing that. And that channel's not doing that. And that channel's not doing that. Wild. That's wild right there. That shouldn't be doing that at all. Okay, let me go into channel 2 now and see what it looks like over here. Let's see if this one does the same thing. Yes, oh wow, it does. Really, it does. Throwing it off wildly. Look, see, I'm plugged into channel 2. There's my signal, which is garbage, but turning channel 1 all the way down cleans it up some, but if I turn it up, it just turns way badly. It goes, first of all, it DC offsets the entire wave, and then it just throws it into complete chaos. Unfortunately, without seeing a schematic for this, I don't even know where to begin, honestly. Let's see, let's try mono on line 3, 4. Let's try that. Right here. So now we've got our signal coming in here, and we're getting nothing. We're getting nothing. Does line 3 and 4 go directly to the output and not the headphones? I don't know. Do not know. Okay, there's our signal. We still got signal. Let's try on 5 and 6 now. Yeah, we got nothing. Nothing there. Now. Nothing. And the only thing I changed was I went to one of these other channels. Well, we've got something there. Why would we have something plugging into the right channel on 5 and 6, but not the left? Well, we got nothing on the left. Same with 3 and 4, it looks like, probably. Yeah, same with 3 and 4. We got a little something there if we plug into that channel, but we've got nothing plugging into here. Okay, that's crazy. Something is way off. Way off in this in the mixer section. I think the output section is probably okay, weirdly enough, but this mixer is screwed. Tell you what, let's get this up. Let's see if we can look at some voltages. I'm gonna keep that signal about like that for a minute. I want to see what we can make happen with it. Man, that is total garbage. And let's see, I'm kind of curious. What the fan does when I plug it in. Fan's working, it's just kind of loud. Let's see if we can do the spray trick on this board. Sometimes when you spray a component and cool it down a little bit, it changes. So let's see what we can make happen here. It's not that. Not that. Not that. Not that. Not that. Or that. Not that. not that. That seemed to change. Something. Seemed to. I want to look at some voltages on these ICs here. Let's look at some DC voltages. Okay, we got 11 volts on that leg. Basically, I just kind of want to go through this and for, okay, we got negative 14 there. Okay. Negative 14 there. We should have 11 here. Yep. Find a similar one. Okay, those are the only two of that type. Now let's look at this other type. We've got two different types here. So we've got this package and we've got this other package. Let's see what this one looks like. We got 11 volts there. And 14 volts there. So we should have 14 here. Yep. 11 here. Yep. 11 here. Yep. 14. Yep. Yep, 11. Ooh. Something seems amiss there. Maybe. Let's try that again. There we got 14.4. What do we have here? 14.4. Got 11. 11. 14. Yes. Okay. Ooh. Okay. There we got 11. And there we got 14. So that one is the other way around. So the voltages on the ICs right there look fine. So maybe it's something else. Maybe it's just a cap problem? Something like that? Maybe it's a cap problem. Let's open the. Now none of these caps down here look bad. Whatever it is, it's got to be in this mixer section. Let's open up the mixer section. It's going to take a bit because I've got to take all of these. I got to take all this apart. So one of my least favorite things to do, take a mixer apart. Oh God, it really is not fun. Maybe there's something to that right there. There's a lot of corrosion on these jacks right here. Like all of these have a little bit of corrosion on them. I'm wondering if something maybe got spilled on this at one time. Possibly. Maybe that's the source of the issue. Corrosion on these screws here too. I mean, but these are upward facing, so you kind of expect a little bit of that. You know, if this thing was ever used on a gig outside or something like that, it's possible that it just could have happened from humidity in the air, you know, or dew falling on it, that sort of thing. But it also could have happened if something kind of got spilled up here. All right, which one of you are holding it? Who's holding on? Oh, that you're holding on. Right there. Okay, got a couple, 3 ICs in here. Got this one and 2 up here. This one is different. This one's different than these two. I'm thinking these two probably have to do with the probably controllers for these LEDs or something like that, possibly. And then this one might be the overall amplifier for this could be our problem right here. We should also have, and we do have, individual transistors here. We got 1, 2, and then we've got 2 here, and we got 2 up here, and we should have 2, maybe 2 more somewhere, unless I'm just stupid. Maybe we only need 2 transistors to cover these other 2 channels. That's probably the case. 2 of these transistors are most likely for these channels, like one amplifiers for the individual channels, and the other 2 transistors probably have to do with the 48-volt generation for the phantom power. So I think what we need to do is hook it back up like it sits here out on the desk, pump a signal through it again, and see exactly what's coming off of these transistors. First of all, see what's coming off of these legs. See what's coming out of these volume pots for the channels, for instance. See if that's a clean signal. I'm presuming it's going to be like at the channel level, but then those signals have to go somewhere after that and get mixed, and I'm thinking this is where they're getting mixed right here, and this most likely is the problem, or something surrounding this. And also I just want to kind of visually inspect and just make sure everything looks like it is connected, like nothing's broken off or anything like that. None of these caps are bulged or looking any other ways unhealthy. And that doesn't seem to be the case. We do have all right, we do have a couple of transistors back here, and we've got some diodes here. This is all for power, I presume. I'm thinking these are probably, I can't see them. I can't see what those are on the heat sinks, but I'm thinking they're probably voltage regulators for the to get power on this board, like they're regulating the. So we got voltage that should come in here with this cable, right, from the transformer. We got a voltage that comes in. It gets regulated by these before it's sent out to power this board. So we should have a regulated power supply of something or other coming off of those transistors right there. We can look at those. So that's here and here. Let's plug this back in and see what kind of voltage we're seeing going into and out of those transistors. I'm thinking, like I said, I think they're most likely voltage regulators of some kind. We don't have to plug these in. I'm just gonna power it on, and we'll check voltages. We can probably get our ground over here still. See what we get here. I can't really get much off of it because it's well, that's odd. Whoop, there we go. There we go. 19.1 volts DC right there. Negative 14. Let's see. Right here we'll have $17 and $11. Okay, see, so our 11 volts had to come from somewhere, and it's being generated right there. So that's our 11 volt supply. That's what these are. These are the voltage regulators that are providing voltages for these chips. That's where our 11 volts is coming from, and there's 19 volts, which I have not seen anywhere else. There's our 14. That's where it's originating. Getting 14.3 right there. Yeah, that's where our 14.3 volts is coming from. It's funny, we've got like either 2.4 or 2.5 volts on like every one of those. Or 0. There's 3.9 volts on that one. This is the pins on that chip that I suspected might be the problem. There's 14 big ass volts on that chip. 14 there. 14 there. 14 there. 13.5. 14.3. So I should see 13.5 here. And then 14.3 again. Yep. Alright, so what do I see here? 14.3. 11.4. So I should see 14.3. Yep. And 11.4. Yep. So what do we see here? 1.8. 0.29. 1.8. 0.29. There's 0.3. 0.3. There's 0.3, and yep, there's 0.3. Now what do we got here? 1 volt. No volts, or no, 0.29. There's 1 volt. 0.29. Yep. Close enough. 0.6. 0.3. So this should be also 0.6 and 0.3. It is. Okay, well, I don't see any inconsistencies with the voltages. All the voltages on those two chips seem to line up okay, but we have got something definitely going wrong with this. I wonder if I should just recap this board. The thing is, all of these ICs, they look like they're very consistent between types. So like I said, we had two different types of IC here. We had this package and we had this package, which is a smaller one. So there's one here and one here in that package. And all the voltages are consistent between the legs on these, and all the voltages are consistent on the legs on all of those. So I'm thinking all of those are fine. Those two ICs, all those voltages are consistent throughout between the two. This was the only one that's, kind of a wild card, because this IC right here on the other side of this board, that's the one I pointed at and said that was suspicious. That might be the issue. But it could also just simply be, it could just be a cap thing. It really could. But I think we should probably do some kind of signal tracing here. I want to run a signal into it again. We're going into channel 1 with our signal. And we're going to bring it back to the board here again. Although, do I need to even bring it back to that board? I don't even need to bring it back to that board. Let's just isolate this board. I'll just isolate that. So I'll leave this unplugged and I'll bring it into this board, and then we'll come right back out of this board to the headphones like we were doing. Oh, look, there it is. There's the problem. I see it. There's our problem. Right there. You see it? Do you see our problem? Boys and girls? I see our problem. I see a couple problems. I see a couple problems, big ones. I mean, talk about a forest for the trees moment. Look at this. Gosh, I mean, a smarter me at this point, if I was smarter, seriously, like if I had no scruples at all, I would just make this a 5-minute video, and I would, you know, I would just pretend, oh, I found it immediately, because I'm so smart. Look at me. Look at how smart and perceptive I am. But look, do you see the problem? Okay, first of all, this guy has completely blown his cap. He's done. This guy beside him, you see how much taller he is? Well, he wasn't supposed to be taller. The reason he's taller is because he's blown his bottom. So one blew his top and one blew his bottom. So these two are definitely bad. But I'll tell you what I want to do. I'm going to test these diodes over here. I mean, those have to be fine because we're getting voltages throughout and they're consistent and clean. I'll go ahead and test those anyway. But these other ones, these are questionable too. This one, these have bulged tops also. Those other smaller ones right there beside the bigger ones, caps, I'm pretty certain those are gone too. Those look like they're questionable. They've got somewhat bulged. You know what? If I was smart, I would probably just replace every larger cap in this thing. But I'm going to start with these 4 right here. We'll knock these 4 caps right there out and come back to this. I bet you that's the problem. See, this is why you visually inspect things before you just go, you know, through a lot of trouble on something. Because 9 times out of 10, you're going to be able to see what the problem was just visually inspecting without having to go through all that rigmarole that I was about to have to go through. I was about to actually start signal tracing and stuff. You saw what I was about to do. But yeah, that's going to be a problem, if not the problem. So let's pull them out of there. Well, we got 1,000 microfarad at 25 volts. Okay. I've got so much junk on this desk right now. I've got wires from different projects flying here and there. I've got boxes of parts from various projects. It's just, man, this thing it's a mess up here, guys. It is a straight up mess. Don't know what I did with my other solder sucker. You know what? I have an electronic solder sucker. I should probably get it out and use it. If I was smart, I would do that, but it's just too much hassle at the moment. This is that really garbage solder. Oh, this solder is garbage. You see how flaky that shit is? This is that Chinesium crap that gets put in everything. It's so bad. It just flakes off. It's unleaded solder, and it's just really not good stuff. Not good at all. Yeah, look at that. I think that cap was doing absolutely nothing. Look, that thing has definitely seen better days. Look at the bottom of it. It's completely blown apart. I bet that made a hell of a pop when it went. That's why the guy sold it to me. He was like, man, there's something wrong with this. I'm going to pawn it off on this dumbass. I'll tell you what, though. I mean, it worked okay for a little while. It wasn't like it didn't work when I got it home. But he didn't charge me anything. He was a really nice guy, and I don't think it was like that at all, in all honesty. He's a pretty cool little cat. Anyway, all right, so 1,000 microfarad at 25 volts there, and 1,000 microfarad at 25 volts there. And both of those are crinkled to hell. And these other ones, yeah, these are most likely screwed as well. 470 at 16 volts. I'm going to replace both of these too. Sure am. Yeah, I think I was right to replace that one. Look at this. Look at that. That one's blown its bottom too. Wow. It's blown its bottom and it's bulged its top. I mean, those should be smoothing capacitors for the voltages that are coming off of this. And yeah, if that voltage is not smoothed and there's ripple in the... That's what we were seeing on the scope, is a bunch of ripple. on the signals, and it was coming from probably dirty voltage. This is one of those little pieces of gear. It's like it's almost not even worth screwing with unless you can find the issue fast. But maybe I can make this work and salvage it. Wow. Holy crap, what the hell? You know, again, we've got just a really distorted, crazy, and there's no way that was manufactured that way. No way. No way. Even with the crappy Chinese tolerances of today, there's no way that's not factory. Those have just blown. So that one also is a 470 at 16 volts. Let me see what I've got lying around, and we'll get those back in there and fire it up, and then blow 4 more, and then I would actually be really curious to see what it does look like on the scope without any of those in there. Actually, let me do that. I'm going to look at it. So this will be with no caps at all in those positions. Okay, we got something. It doesn't look pretty. It's not pretty at all. In fact, see the DC offset? It's way down here now instead of up here in the middle. Look at that. That's crazy. But that definitely changed it. You know, so that's it's got something to do with it. You know what I'm saying, man? You know what I'm saying? Okay, and channel 2 is, once again, it's raising, it's changing that DC offset. It's raising that upward. But right now, it's way down here, so it's kind of raising it back up to the middle where it should be. But yeah, that definitely changed it, and that's going to have an effect for sure. So let's get those changed. Okay, so victory loves preparation. We've got all the caps we need on hand. I've got 470 at 35 volts. I've also got the 470s at the original 16 volts if we wanted to stick with that voltage. Man, that's the same size capacitor. It's the exact same package size, looks like. Now these are labeled Nichicon. I don't know if they are legit Nichicons or not. They are, oh, these are 105C labeled, and these were 85C. Let's see, what were these? These were 85 also. I got 1,000 at 25 volts at 105C. I tell you what, I'm gonna throw the original spec back in there. Okay, so place your bets on this now. This would be a good time to pause the video. Go down below, write in a comment what you think is going to happen here. Is this going to fix it or not? Okay. It's like a little forest, and I'm adding the tree trunks.
This looks like a city, like a little model of a city.
All right, what did you say in your bet below? Did you say it's going to work or it's not going to work? Extra points if you guessed it was going to explode and it actually explodes. What are the odds that all 4 caps just blow again? Just all 4 caps immediately. I should probably check those transistors, shouldn't I? Probably should. Let me see. Okay, we got a 1/2 volt there, so that junction looks okay. That one looks okay. Yeah, I don't know. From what I could tell, it looks okay. I forgot to read those. I had those damn things off there, and I still didn't bother to try to zoom in and read that and see what those are. Hopefully they're not a problem, but we'll see. If they blow, they blow. Wouldn't be the worst thing that I did on this channel. All right, let's fire her up again and see what it does now. All right, let's flip the switch on them. You ready? There we go. Look at that clean sine wave. Clean. Clean. Our voltage is higher, or our power consumption is higher, but that is a clean sine wave. That's what that is. And it's looking pretty damn good, boys. And we've got no DC offset when we change the other, when we turn the other knobs. See, nice and clean, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, here's the gain. Let's pump the gain up. Yeah, man, clean. All the way up on the gain right there. And now on the channel volume, let's drop that down. Nice and clean all the way up. Okay, I'm gonna call this fixed. I'm gonna call it fixed. Let's put it back together and see what it sounds like with some actual music. But while we were doing this, I thought I would ask you guys, what do you think? And I'm genuinely, I'm not asking you this like to generate heat in the comments or anything like that. I'm not trying to like game the algorithm here. That's not what this is about. I'm actually genuinely curious. I want to know what you guys think about what's going on with those stupid drones. What's going on with the drones in New Jersey? I gave this a lot of thought. The last, week or however long it's been since that whole story started to break. And, the parallels really with like the whole kind of Orson Welles' War of the Worlds sort of psyop, if you want to call it that, which I'm convinced that's what it was. And this probably is too. But the parallels were just so obvious, that something was going on that was just really amiss. Because when you have a bunch of drones in the sky over a populated area, especially, obviously somebody wants them to be seen. Whether it's foreign or whether it's domestic, military, U.S. military, foreign military, whether it's a private person that's doing it, citizen or group of citizens, or whether it's a otherworldly thing or interdimensional beings, or who the hell knows, you know what I mean? Regardless of any of that, whatever it is, obviously wants to be seen, right? The entity doing it wants it to be known. We also have the DOD came on and did a press conference, and we're like, or the representative from the Department of Defense for the U.S. military came on and was like, oh, we don't know what these are. We don't have any information about what they are or where they're originating from. Seriously? Like, you actually held a press conference to say that? You had the nerve to actually say that in public. We don't know what this is. Okay, so that just screams incompetence, first of all. That is, if it's true, if you truly don't know and you're not lying. And if you are lying, then shame on you. Why are you lying to the American public? So either way, it's really fucking stupid to just come out and say that. We don't know what they are. But then in the same breath, they're like, oh, but we know that they're not a threat. Well, hang on a second. If you don't know what they are, how can you possibly say whether or not they're going to actually be a threat? How can that be? How can those two sentences even coexist? You know what I mean? It makes no sense whatsoever. None. It's just, I just have racked my brain about it. I'm like, okay, well, obviously, man, there is no way they're telling the truth about this not being some kind of PSYOP or U.S. military operation. It has to be. The other possibility is it's a private entity like Raytheon or Lockheed or Boeing or somebody like that out there doing these tests, And if that's the case, I actually am convinced that is what's going on, is that one of those companies are testing this stuff, and they're doing it in full view of everybody because they want to create the hysteria, and probably our own DOD knows about it. They know what's going on, and they want it to be created too, because what's going to happen is, all these, and it's already happened. You've got these congressmen and stuff speculating, oh, it's Iran, oh, it's China, it's one of our adversaries, and they're in our skies over our restricted airspace, and how is this even possible in the United States? And then one side plays the idiots, but really none of them are idiots. They're playing us for the idiots, because what we do is we call our congressmen and we call our senators. Well, I demand something be done about this. This is absolutely ridiculous that, our airspace is being violated, yada, yada. That's probably, that's what everybody's doing. Half the country's called their congressmen or their senators demanding something be done. And you know what that something's going to be is the person or the entity who created the issue in the first place, who sent the stuff up and is doing all of this, making a big show of this. They're going to step in and say, oh, we have the solution. Oh, if you want it to be so our airspace never gets violated again, here's this program that we have, this $100 billion space wars program that that we've been working on. All we got to do is get the American taxpayer to fund it. That's what I believe is happening right there. It is a conspiracy, but that is the root of it. It's just money. It's all about money. And all of this shit really is about money. Like even going back to moon landing stuff or other false flags and all that stuff. It's some corporation or some entity wants to start a conflict so that they can get in the middle of that conflict, and they can fleece the unsuspecting people, i.e. the taxpayers, who have to fund all this crap whenever stuff blows up. That is just, manufacturing consent. And people on the left and people on the right should be able to easily look at this and agree on that sort of thing. This is not a partisan sort of issue, seeing these things. To those of you who are on the left particularly, you guys should be so happy. If you're an old school lefty, and I'm saying from like the Bush era lefty, if there's any of you even left, you've all migrated by now. The only people on the left now are young people who are useful idiots who just don't know any better, and the older people who are puppeteering those useful idiots at this point. Anybody with any sense has already left the left. But if you're still kind of hanging around on the left and hoping things get better, you should be able to look at the right and say, well, hey, you know what? At least they're becoming more and more anti-war all the time. Like they're more skeptical of all this crap, and they're asking these questions, and they're not taking our leaders at face value when they say some bullshit. That's obviously bullshit. You should be happy. That's my take on it. You should be happy that the right has essentially moved and woken up. And I don't mean become woke, quote unquote, but has actually woken up to what's going on. Again, like the Noam Chomsky said, the whole manufacturing consent thing, the right now understands all of that. And it seems to be that people who went MAGA this time, those are the people who actually see that and understand it. Whereas the left, I don't know what the left is up to, because they just don't seem to understand any of it. And we end up on two different sides of conflicts that we really have no business in. At least Americans, we have no business in it. Or, people outside of those countries and those conflicts, like Ukraine or like Israel, Palestine, that sort of thing. We really don't have, and we should not have, a dog in that fight, but we do. And we end up always sticking our nose in it and putting our dogs in that fight, and it's just, I think it's to our detriment that we keep doing that. But yeah, that's my take on the whole drones thing, which is just crazy. What really set me off, and I think what really set a lot of people off, was that press conference they held where it was like, what? Wait a minute, wait. It's like, rewind that, play that. Can you say that again? Just say it and listen to yourself. You're actually, you know what I mean? It's like, holy crap. Oh man, because that was truly nuts. That's a thing to behold when they could say, oh yeah, it's harmless, but we don't know what it is. They think we're idiots, man. They think we are blooming buffoons. And are they right? Probably. Probably. Okay. It's all back together. Let's hook it up over here and see if it's better. All right. So far, so good. Let's see. I've got all the levels down. So let's go ahead and hit play on this. So we should be outputting a signal through here. We've got some volume here. Should have a signal coming in here.
I'm not sure exactly what model. I think I looked it up the other day and found the exact model.
Oh, now we're
found the error codes. F760 error code is what's showing up right now. So we had a power outage a couple weeks back, something like that, and this thing's been out ever since. It was acting up before that, and when you would push on the buttons, half of them would work and half of them wouldn't. It was just like
beautiful. Okay, so that's all it was. 4 bad capacitors that had blown their tops. So yeah, man, that'll do it for this one. I have another mixer I need to look at too. That one was bad, but also I have this Behringer over here that just quit on me completely, and it caused me actually to lose some. I lost an entire video's worth of audio recently, and I had to do voiceover for the entire video as a result of that. Which always sucks when that happens. I've had that happen in the past, and it's never fun because you got all this footage and you've got this thing that was repaired or whatever, and it could have been a cool video, except all your voiceover is garbage. You know, usually, you know, I have this microphone over the bench, and it kind of picks up my voice, and I use that method. Rather than using like the onboard camera microphones. Actually the microphone on this camera that I'm holding now is not bad. Tell me what you think. I mean, I think it's actually not bad at all. It's a little DJI Action 4 camera, and it's decent audio. This audio too is decent, and I'm probably just going to use this from now on, most likely, because it's the most foolproof way to do it, so that you just don't lose audio. I've never lost audio with an onboard camera mic. So I don't know, for the kinds of videos that I do, it's probably best just to go that route anyway. But I do have this other mixer over here, this Behringer. We will pull this out of here and maybe do a video of that one soon too, because it needs to be done. But yeah, man, that'll do it for this one. For now, see y'all later.